Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our first edition of ARIVE Tenacity Talks. This is a new podcast series we are launching in which we will invite industry leaders and business legends to learn about the tips and tricks of their success. Our goal is to equip you with insights and strategies that can help you become successful in your business. We are kicking off this series with a true legend. I'm so excited to have with us today Chris Vinson, CEO of Windsor Mortgage. Chris is not only an entrepreneur, he is a mentor and coach to me and many other loan officers, and he has built a true powerhouse. If you do not work with Windsor Mortgage, they are a fantastic Arrive partner. So I will highly encourage you to get signed up with them. You're truly missing out. So let's jump right in. So first of all, thank you, Chris, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't realize I was going to be the first one, so this is pretty exciting.
It is exciting. So, Chris, we have known each other for quite some time. So help the audience walk through your journey. How did you reach where you are today? And what are the pivotal moments you would like to share that you went through as a part of your life?
Yeah, I started off as a mortgage broker in 2000 by accident. I think many of us get into this mortgage game not because this is what we wanted to do in our life, but it just showed up in our life. I always wanted to be a farmer, and then I just wanted to be a salesperson. And so I entered into this business at I think the interest rates were 8%. I was a mortgage broker working for a small mortgage company here in Sioux Falls. And then my wife joined. And then in '01, we created our own mortgage company called Journey Mortgage. And that was really, everybody teases me, that was the name of the band after the band. And I said, no, no, no. That was our journey of how we had got to this spot. And we wanted to help other people along their journey. And so we grew Journey Mortgage, and then the end of '08, we sold to Plains Commerce Bank, which is where Windsor Mortgage is still held underneath to this day. And so I've been with Plains Commerce Bank since the end of '08 when I sold to them. And that's really been my whole journey. I didn't really enter into wholesale on that side. It just kind of like involved and it happened. And I was a loan officer trying to do more loans, just like all of us, and started off in the community bank space and then led into working in the wholesale space. And that's kind of like been, in a sense, my journey along to all the way up till today. So I haven't really moved or worked for a bunch of different places. It's just been started off at a small company, opened our own, and then sold and have been at Plains Commerce Bank since.
Wonderful. That's so fascinating. So, Chris, we always talk about having a proactive mindset versus reactive mindset, and should loan officers be entrepreneurs? Do you want to share your views on that?
Mm. Yeah, Harish, if you were going to go to Idaho and you got in your car and you got everybody loaded up, what would be the first thing that you would probably do?
Try to find where I'm trying to go, directions.
Right. So you would go to your phone and you would choose the map of your choice and you would click it into your phone. And by that map, it would lead you along that way. Isn't it so true that if we don't know where we're going, like it would be weird? You're like, hey, everybody, get in the car. We don't actually know where we're going to go, but we're just going to drive. Uh, you who knows where you would end up? And because we talk about that maybe as an easy way or an easy illustration is that if you don't know where you're going, how do you expect to be able to get the success that you want? And so creating a roadmap, I think, has been something that along the way that has kept me grounded, but kept me in more of a proactive mindset than a reactive mindset. I feel like many times in my career, when I get to a reactive mindset, I become stagnant or I fall backwards. And I think if you're in the mortgage space today, what are you going to do to change your business to be more proactive? And how are you going to roadmap what the next 12 months, 24 months, and even 60 months are going to look like in your career? And what are those goals? And by the way, that's hard work. We just spent 3 days putting a roadmap together for the next 5 years. It's hard work. But in the end, it's just like my phone. I know where I'm headed.
That's so insightful, Chris. And since you talked about directions, I have a trivia question for you.
Okay.
What do Google Maps and Apple Maps have in common when you put directions and you reach where you want to go? What do both maps say? That you have arrived. So that's how we talk about.
That is so true.
That's so
They
true, right?
do. They
So to
do.
arrive at your destination, you have a roadmap, and then we joke about, like, both mapping companies say you have arrived, but I think this is so true. Like building a roadmap, even in our business, we look at short-term roadmap, long-term roadmap, 5-year roadmap. That's so valuable to have that entrepreneurial mindset to plan your business. Now, I want to ask you something about what you have shared with me. Like you built this secret sauce, which you call your playbook. Using your decades of experience of building high-producing team. Tell our audience what is in the playbook. What are the tips, tactics, techniques, processes that they can practically use to grow their business this year, next year, and in coming years?
Yeah, so one of the things that in our playbook that actually we teach at Windsor is having a plan. And so creating a 1 year business plan and making it simple. Like a 1 year business plan for a mortgage broker is not made so it's so complicated you'll never succeed. It is how many leads do you want? At this conversion equals this many closings. And then once let's say that your goal is 50 leads a month or 25 leads a month, how are you going to acquire that goal? And where are these leads going to come from? And that's where the playbook comes. So number one, let's get the vision. Number two, let's follow a playbook. And how am I going to do it? What am I going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? What are the activities that I need to do that's going to generate leads? I can't sit at my desk. I can't sit home. I can't just drive around and expect I'm going to get these leads. I have to do proactive activities to being able to get it. So how am I going to work my realtor relationships? How am I going to work my database? How am I going to work influential people into my market? How am I going to connect to builders? Like the biggest thing that I think a mortgage broker needs to realize, you're a recruiter. You're recruiting and looking for leads everywhere you go. And if you're looking at it like that and you're paying attention to your activity, success will come. But if I sit and dwell on how many loans I'm going to close for the month, it gets you every time. It's like as soon as you look over to the right and look at how many loans you're closing for the month, boom, it's over. Like, Harish, you probably pay attention to how many users you have. But I promise, I bet, I don't even know this, I don't know this, but you probably pay more attention to what's next. What's the proactive things? How am I going to improve my user experience? What more things do they need? I'm listening to what things I could implement. You always say, I go, what about this? What about that? Chris, it's these projects. It's each project at a time. We do each project right. Well, for a loan officer, we can't do that either. We can't look at these things that either I can't control, but I can control my actions and my activity. When I bring you to my playbook in Sioux Falls, one of the loan officers said, Chris, you never asked them how many loans they're going to close. And it really sparked to me. I'm like, I haven't asked them how many loans they're going to close in years, because I only concentrate on what are the activities that you're doing, how many leads did you get for the week, and how many locks did you get for the week. That's it. The rest will take care of itself. It'll take care of the money. It'll take care of the closed loans if you take care of your activity.
Yeah, absolutely. That mindset of focusing on what do we do next and building a strategy around how do I execute is so important. What has happened has happened. Like you said, we cannot control that. We can obviously learn from what has happened, but the focus has to be what can I do, which is in my control, not worry about the markets. Interest rates are where they are. So, Chris, how do you see 2025 unfolding? Do you have any opinion, like where you sit, as how the markets will be? They've been pretty rough over the last couple of years. What's next in coming years?
Mm. I would say we're the most excited about 2025. I feel like the purchase market's going to be good. I think you're going to have a lot of refi opportunity. I feel like this is the market that the public has been waiting for. I I am pushing my team. Are we ready? What areas do we need to hire? Creating road maps. And by the way, when we hire in steps. And I feel like if you're in the business right now, what's the first step? And then the second step, and then the third step. Don't go to the top right away because that's a slide. And slides hurt. When you fall to the bottom, it's a steep fall. Like grow in this step. If you're going to hire your very first person, I would suggest reach out to us, reach out to some other mentors. What's this job description look like? How do I hold them accountable? What duties should they be doing for me? What duties don't I like? And these are the duties I'm not as good at. And these are the duties I'm really good at. And being concentrating and building that step, because 2025 is going to take an infrastructure of probably some more staff on your behalf. I know the exact number of additional hires that I need to hire for that next step. And that's all I'm working on right now. How do I hire these next 90 people? What positions are they? Where am I going to find them? And then I am slow to hire and quick to fire. Like I want to hire the best I can find and make sure that they fit into our culture needs. Because if you're not ready for 2025, you're going to miss out. There's time now to be able to put this plan together, but hire slow, develop your plan, and figuring out how you're going to capitalize the most on 2025. So you're probably saying, okay, Chris, you talked a lot, but if you're going to capitalize the most in 2025, that means you need to work on all of your past customers. That is where the biggest opportunity is lost in so many loan officers. And then yet they get so mad when somebody else calls them and takes their customer. Like if you love them that much, why wouldn't you stay connected with them? So if you're not working your database, today's the day that you start.
No, absolutely. There never is a better time to start if you're not doing something. That's how also we see this. So, Chris, based on your experiences, give me some examples of some loan officers or teams or brokers who have actually adopted these tactics and techniques and really increased their production.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess one of the stories comes to a loan officer that works for me. She came from an environment that had no coaching, no accountability, no plan, and just couldn't make it. And in the end, ended up getting let go. And she came to me 9 years ago, and said, "This is what happened." And I said, if you're willing to follow the plan, if you're willing to implement the things that we tell you to implement, I'll hire you. And so we hired her 9 years ago. She has a team of four. She is in the top ranking loan officers in the state of South Dakota. She's accomplished making over $1 million twice in her career. She's the top four loan officer that works for me, and she just implements everything that we say. And I think that it just goes to show you everything that we teach to a loan officer is not sexy, is not fancy, and that maybe everybody's looking for this little sexy fancy thing, and it's just a little bit of work is really what it is. And then it's being able to grow into those steps. What's that first hire? I remember when she hired her very first hire, how scary that was for her because she's accumulating that expense. And then watching that person grow to where basically is her team captain today, and she has literally put additional staff people underneath, and just now she's got some junior loan officers, and just watching this whole plan come into play. And I've seen it. I even had a loan officer call me. I coached some owners of mortgage companies in some small group sessions, and when they get away from the basics, Harish, is when they get drifted, they get reactive, they get stagnant, they quit growing, and then they're like, I got to go back. I got to go back to what worked. And I think it hits us. I've drifted. I've not done the activities that I need to be doing, and I'm like, I got to get back. I got to get back to this tracker. I've got to follow and track where my leads are coming from. I got to follow and track where my activity is coming from. I've got to create a consistent social media plan and creating a 30-day calendar for my social media. Like all of these things aren't like super fancy and hard to do, but they're just a simple plan that you can implement today and you can go change your career. And I've watched loan officer follow the plan and get the success. But I've also watched loan officer and loan officer fall off the plan. I don't need it anymore type of thing. And then realize, oh, I'm not getting the success that I was having before. I've got to go back. And I'm just telling you, if you can follow an activity plan and you can understand where your leads are coming from and you can connect to the existing database that you have, you will kill it in 2025.
Absolutely. I think we also believe so much in what you said, like the eureka moments do not exist. It is all about building a plan and working hard, to get to your goals. Nothing happens overnight. There are no overnight successes. You have to really put in the work and time and grit. And like I've failed twice in my previous companies. For 10 years, I was trying to build software companies. They went nowhere. And for me, at least, third time is a charm, as they say. So we have had some success, and thanks to you and other community, our community that has helped us grow. So my last question here today will be how do loan officers get access to this playbook? How do they learn more about your secret sauce? Can you tell our audience about that?
Yeah, so we do a playbook boot camp at Windsor once a month. So I think there's for September, October, November. So probably October and November still have a little bit availability into those playbooks. That's a perfect way. Or you could reach out to Windsor if you have an account executive. If you don't, reach out to me. I think it's pretty easy you could find me pretty easy either on Facebook or on Instagram and DM me, and I'll send you the playbook. It's important for us. I think the biggest joy for us is helping loan officers go get their goals. And, being a partner with Arrive and having it a little bit easier for that loan officer to be able to implement. Because what do we want you to be doing? We want you to be doing sales activities. And that's why Arrive is there for you. So that you're not spending so much time fighting with your LOS. It's going to be doing a lot of the work for you while you stay into green time. And that is a loan officer thing. Like we naturally love to just fall into that red time, fall into that operational time. But with great partners like Arrive, you can stay out of the red time and stay into the green time. And if you do that, I promise you'll have that success. So reach out to me. I'll send you that playbook or sign up for our playbook boot camp. I think you're going to love it. I've had some very high-end LOs come away with some great tactics that they can implement the next week.
So, Chris, this is so wonderful. Thank you for helping mentoring the community. Thank you for teaching them. We had a blast in our first podcast, and this will be available on our social media channels. And again, we are looking forward to continuing our partnership. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Harish.
Thank you. Bye.